Yo, welcome back to another video. Today, we getting into a situation, I guess, that happened down in Miami Beach where they was doing the public hazing. I think it was the Newts organization, one of the D9s, if I'm not mistaken. I guess it's blowing up on TikTok. I'm gonna add my 2 cents into the video. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the video. Jane, they doing it. They doing the public hazing now. I thought they kept this behind closed doors. The fact that they doing this out in the open is kind of crazy in front of a bunch of people. That's embarrassing. I never understood the hazing portion of getting into one of these D9 frats. Actually, it's just frats in general. I never understood what the point of the hazing is. I guess to show your resolve, show that you down for the cause or whatever the case may be. But it's like, why do I have to do all of that to show that I'm down for the cause? Is there not other ways to do that? I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure. I've never gone down the route of trying to join one of these, and I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and speak on these as if I know the process. I do know some friends of mine or some acquaintances of mine who went down the route of getting into a D9. And I know it take a lot. They really test you as if you getting a full-time job almost. Obviously you joining like a brotherhood, but to me sometimes it's like, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, this is embarrassing. And to do this in public, yay, that's crazy. And then dap up your homeboys after it? Nah. Yeah, that ain't my type of shit right there.
I'm going to approach this like this. Parents, imagine your son who is 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever the case, he is old enough to make his own decision, and you have to trust that he's making the right decision. I'm going to make sure that I put that out there as a disclaimer. But imagine that your son is in a garage somewhere, in a room, in an apartment, in the woods, whatever the case may be, and he is the person receiving wood. Pause. He is the person receiving, and the person that's throwing, and the person that's throwing in this video is doing a terrible job, 100% terrible. He is the type of person that will get someone hurt because he can't swing. And I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that as a person who was in a organization, who used to be the person, whenever pledges got in trouble, I was the one that was throwing, if you will.
Whoa.
He's the type of person that's really going to get somebody hurt because
what is
he
this
can't
saying?
control his emotions. You can see that as he keeps throwing, he's getting more upset because the person that's receiving is not budging in the way that he thought that he would.
We keep talking about throwing and receiving. It's throwing me all the way off. Why can't we have different terms on how we doing on whatever this action is that's taking place? Now we talk about throwing and receiving. I guess he's talking about, I guess he was getting emotional and he looked like he wasn't probably swinging it properly. I don't even know. I don't know nothing about this, but I think the whole principle of this is, why are we doing this in a public place? Whether if he was doing it right or wrong, I mean, the man looked like he was okay. If he did get hurt, I guess it'd be a different story. But I guess he was part of D9, so he know how to do whatever it is that he's supposed to do. But for the average person, they don't care about none of this. I think they harping on the fact that he embarrassing himself out there in Miami Beach.
And because you have women watching, his emotions is getting even more flared up. This whole video is really, really sad and really, really crazy. But parents, imagine your son is receiving wood from a person like this, is receiving a paddle from a person like this.
Throwing me off.
Now, he does not have 100 people watching him. He has maybe him and a couple of his LBs or a couple of his profiles, whatever you want to call them, that's, going to control them. And for the most part, I will definitely say, especially, when I was the person doing that, we would control it. But that person right there, no, he's dangerous. And this is why, this is one of the reasons why this is just not.
I wish he would speak on what is the point? What is the purpose of doing all this? I want him to speak on that because he worried about how he hitting him. That clearly that nigga don't care. Clearly he down for the cause, so he don't care.
I don't know why they're doing this in public. That in itself is diabolically crazy. You have to understand that. Kappas, y'all got some explaining to do because this is not okay. Also, please tell me, where's the Christian principles in this? Yeah.
People love to bring up the whole Christian principles and things of that nature, but I've seen a lot of D9 people who have who are a part of D9s their denounce their oh my god, why can't I think of it? But anyway, they've denounced being a part of that organization because it wasn't following their Christian values. But then, so that's why when it comes to religion, I feel like people just make up what people just put together, build whatever makes sense to them. Because apparently D9s were built on Christian foundations and all of this other stuff. But then we have a bunch of people. I wouldn't say it's a trend, but it's now a thing where a lot of people are denouncing their D9 organizations and everything because it's not following proper Christian values. So it's like, what is it? What is it? Because I don't know. You know, I don't think there is Christian values in hazing and beating on people or beating people damn near to death. And then we talking about there's Christian values involved in that. Where? Somebody explain that to me. This is why Christianity is such a, in my opinion, is such a difficult topic to talk about, because I do believe that people pick and choose what makes sense, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. It's like, bro, I don't want to hear all that, bro. Somebody hit me with the real facts. Like, oh my God.
Okay. So please show this to your sons. Please show this to please show this to your students, because there's a lot of teachers who, and I was one of them as well, but there's a lot of teachers that will say that, you know, this organization is blah, 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 community service, but they will not talk about this part. And they've been doing this part and worse for decades. Many of people have gone to the hospital. Many of people have, y'all already know.
Yeah, we need to keep chatting on that.
Giving out wood to the dude on the beach is not a Kappa Alpha Psi problem. It's not a nuke problem. Like, no, I'm not really calling out the organization.
The fact that he could literally just come out and say that like it ain't nothing. Giving out wood is crazy. Is that really what they say in these organizations when they going through the hazing process? Yo, bro, I'm about to give out wood. What the? I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I couldn't even take it seriously. I just be looking at this nigga like, what?
And nothing like that. But it's really a D9 problem. Like, in the D9, it's like, oh, I'm tougher than you. I did this, you did it. It's shit like that.
Is it a D9 thing, or is that just black culture in general? Because one thing black people love to do is they try to one up each other. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's just a D9 thing. I think it's just black culture in general. One thing we like to do is we like to one up each other. So I'm not just gonna put it on just D9s, and because that's just how we roll. If we can one up somebody, we're gonna go out there and one up somebody. It's just as simple as that.
It's public information, you feel me? And I was a victim, and what's the opposite of victim? A suspect or some shit? But anyway, I used to do that shit too. When I first crossed, I'm like, man, we hard, y'all soft. I did this, y'all didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you young, your ego's up, especially males' ego's up. I'm tougher than you. You feel me? Like, you gotta go to Winnie Hut Jr. type shit. But the older I get, the more mature I get. I'm like, damn, a lot of that shit's stupid. Like, nigga, we do all this great shit in the community, education, in church. Like, why are we trying to prove to other orgs or other chapters that we tougher than them? Like that, like we're literally not game bangers. You know what I mean? Like, I know some people might act like it, we are and all that, but we really
they definitely act like it. They act like they on that type of time. They love, from my experience, bro, they love throwing hand, bro. You just breathe in their direction. they all of them jumping on you, and it's like, bro, relax, my God, chill out. And that whole trying to steal your female, but I ain't gonna lie, some of the most sensitive niggas is in D9s, bro. They be so sensitive about these females. It's like, bro, just relax, bro. Sometimes I promise you, some people join these D9s just because they have no motion in their personal lives, and that D9 just raises them up to that point where, oh, okay, females want to look at me now. People want to pay attention to me. I'm a nobody. I'm a loser. I can finally get some attention. And it's like, bro, bro, a lot of people need to do some looking within, because it's sad why a lot of people join certain organizations. For me personally, if I was to join a D9 organization, it would be for the brotherhood. It would be for the connections. Like I said, I know some people, man, these D9s got connections everywhere, especially when it comes to jobs, when it comes to learning how to invest your money. It's crazy the different type of connections and things that you can find while joining a D9 organization. And the community service part, I just genuinely enjoy helping people. I think it just fills me up. It just pause. Oh, whoa. Definitely use the wrong word there. It makes my heart full to be able to help somebody. But I think the partying and the getting females, I feel like that's on the back burner. That's just extra stuff. The partying is probably the only thing I really don't get into too much, but females, I don't really have a hard time getting females. So to me, going into a D9, I feel like it would probably just raise the amount of female attention I would get, but I'm not going to be overly going like a lot of these niggas are, because they don't get nothing until they get that status of, hey, I got my ass whooped. I'm here now. And now females want to pay attention to me because I'm hitting my dances. You know what I'm saying?
Man and woman. So I think that incident with them on the beach was just like, hey, everybody come gather around. We about to show y'all that we really the most lit, or you know what I mean, like the most hard, toughest chapter or fraternity or whatever. And you know, you drinking, smoking, you probably not really like taking everything in. You probably just like, oh, all right, bet I'm gonna just, you know, throw some wood, get the paddle, blah blah blah, which is not very common, but could be common among different chapters, yada yada. So I think at this particular chapter, or these group of men, they just was really feeling themselves. They was on spring break. They was probably like
most D9s just be feeling themselves.
They did what they want to. They want to. That was on the video, but that's a problem because it gets to the public, and I feel like just proving to other people that you tough is not the way to go, and we gotta like really kind of fix this in the D. Now I don't know how. Y'all can leave a comment on how, if y'all seen the video or not, but it's really a broader problem that we got.
It's a broader problem within the Black community. That all goes back to slavery times. There's a deeper reason, there's a deeper reasoning behind why we feel like we have to outdo each other, or why we are always, it feels like, against each other. It's because of the slavery times, man. We were almost programmed or enslaved to think that we need to go against each other. Those times in history where we did build up our own communities and we were living well, and things were going well, the white man would come in and destroy everything that was built. And through that destruction, it would show us Black people that we can't establish our own thing. It's not going to work. And then I'm just telling you, there's so much. I mean, you got the house slave versus the niggas outside. Just always finding a way to put us against each other, and that has translated through generation. And that's why it's hard for Black people to come together without some type of violence occurring. Have you realized, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not speaking ill will on our people. I'm just talking about the history and how we are the way we are now. But when we come together, there is always some type of fight, some shooting, and it's crazy, because I don't know if you ever noticed, but especially down here. So in my city, they have this event after MLK called 9th Street, where you go on 9th Street, a bunch of African American people gather, and they're on the street. There's a lot of different food trucks, They got gas stations. People bring out their nice cars. They blasting music, smoking weed, just having a good time, just vibing, walking up and down the street, or just chilling on the block. Right. That event alone has so many officers out there because, unfortunately, the way it's set up is 9 times out of 10 there is something that is going to go down. So it's like, why don't we already have people out there? But if you ever notice, when they had those downtown events, like when they have those downtown markets and things of that nature, you have one officer probably walking the area, and that's if they need it. But that's my whole point. When there's an all black event, we need to have some type of officers somewhere in the vicinity because something is most likely going to go down. But when you having some downtown event where it's just markets and most likely all different types of races between, the Caucasian people, the Hispanic people, whatever, though they can intermingle and there won't be a problem. But when we all come together, there is an issue. It goes to show you right there, man.
Should have never happened. It should have never happened, man. First of all, hazing has been illegal. It's immoral. It's plain old barbarism. It's nothing different than what happens in the military. It's nothing different than what happens in football, the UFC. I mean, you name it, man. Any of these contact sports, man, that, most of us sit around and are entertained by, while other people are actually losing their lives. They're actually suffering from mental illnesses. They're actually suffering from physical ailments, while we sit around and watch this stuff because most of these people just want to be a part of something, right? They want to be a part of a brotherhood or a
Facts.
sisterhood when it comes to the fraternities and the sororities. But it's plain ignorance, if you ask me, because that should have never happened, man. Never. Those people should be held accountable. That sorority or fraternity, whoever, they should be held accountable, man. People need to go to jail behind this and learn a lesson. Whichever fraternity or sorority it was, I don't care. The Divine Nine, man, they need to be banned from colleges altogether because they've caused more harm than good.
I think banning is pretty extreme. And I don't think more harm than good is factual. From the Divine Nines that I know and the people who are part of them, they do so much for the community. It's not even funny. I do believe that the good outweighs the bad. It's just that a lot of people seem to hyper focus, especially on the internet. A lot of people seem to hyper focus on the one bad situation that they may have come across or the couple bad situations that they have come across and just focus on those. But no, from my personal experience and from my knowledge of the D9s in my area, the good definitely far outweighs the bad.
They've caused more harm than good. And you can say what you want. Oh, it's a brotherhood or a sisterhood, that allows me to, be able to connect with others just like me. Once I graduate from college, helps me to get a job, helps me to get ahead. It's bougie BS. That's all it is. You name me someone who was a part of a sorority or a fraternity that thinks that they're not better than you, especially in college. I went to college, so I know firsthand. I had
That ego comes with it, but I mean, you could say the same thing about football players. Them niggas be on a full ride scholarship plan, especially if you go to a prestigious college when it comes to sports wise. Like, imagine you pulling up to Alabama. You know them niggas walking around with the biggest head, with the biggest egos. You literally got a full ride scholarship to one of the best football colleges in the nation. You not walking around with an ego? Stop it. Stop it. You could say the same thing about any sport where these people are getting, even if it's not a full ride, you got accepted onto the team. You walking around with a big head, you gonna have an ego. Even if it may not be as big as some of the other people's, but you gonna have a slight bit of an ego where you like, I'm on the football team. I'm on LSU football team. What are you talking about? You turning me down? Come on now. Let's stop it. I'm not hearing nothing this nigga talking about.
a friend of mine who was pledging Kappa, and I let them stay at my apartment. And I remember one night I heard a cane crack over somebody's head. Man, I put them Negroes out as fast as that cane swung over that boy's head, man. It's ridiculous. Because most people go to college and they become someone else. You know how you used to say, most police officers become police officers because they were bullied in school or what have you. It's the same thing in these sororities, man. Most
Agreed.
of these people in these sororities and these fraternities, man, they were nobodies where they came from.
Agreed.
Once they got to college and they got a part of this fraternity or this sorority, they thought that they think that they had stuff now.
Agree. I agree with him on that. From that perspective, I really do. I do believe a lot of people join law enforcement and fraternities and sororities because they're nobodies and they want that recognition. And unfortunately, a lot of black people earn for recognition. They earn for popularity. They earn to be seen because it goes back into our history, man. We've always been nobodies. We've always been looked at as less than. So we strive for that. We strive to be seen, be relevant, be heard. And that goes to show why a lot of people try and join these organizations because, like you said, they already feel like nobodies. They already don't get the attention that they're looking for. So joining one of these will get them that attention. For male wise, getting that female attention that they've never gotten, getting that brotherhood because they're lonely. Just things, because I feel like the overall reasoning behind the D9 organizations, they were created obviously for black people to have their own, but as well as to help the community. There's bigger notions behind these D9s, but the reason why people join is not for those notions. It's because of the attention, the recognition, the parties, the females. Men-wise, for women, may be a little bit different. Obviously, women love attention, so I'm putting that as number one. They're doing that for the attention. They want to be a part of something. They want to do the dances, all that jazz. But obviously, it's not to serve the community. It's not to want to do something that's bigger than themselves. They're not. A lot of people aren't worried about that.
They think that they're the king and the queen of the campus now. But trust me, they were nobody then, and they're nobodies now. Again, my condolences go out to that young man and his family. It should never happen. It's sick. It's barbarism. It's gladiator.
He put himself out there.
Gladiator.
Condolences for what?
Day times, man. So it's a shame. We got to do better.
Like I said, I agree with him to that point where after these people leave college, some are successful. I'm not going to say some of these people aren't, but I do know a couple niggas as part of D9s. I mean, their whole life was surrounded by their D9. Once they finally had to graduate, they still figuring it out. They had to come back home or they stayed in that city where their college was that they went to, and they still figuring it out. They probably got a dead end job. They're not really doing anything because their whole life was surrounded by the D9. And that's very similar to law enforcement, where you got to find that balance. But when you go into that career or to that organization, making that your everything because you were, like he stated, a nobody, you going to make that your whole entire identity, and it doesn't end up working out in your favor. But I'm definitely curious what y'all think on that situation. I think it's embarrassing. I think it's stupid. There's no reason to do that in public. If you're gonna do that, keep that shit behind closed doors. But a lot of these people going into these deep dives, I think some of that's unnecessary. It is what it is. They've been doing it. You speaking out of it, yeah, you got the right to free speech. You say what you need to, but this shit ain't gonna change. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna want. I don't know what the hell that was. They're gonna do whatever they want to do at the end of the day. But anyway, I'm gonna start yapping on the subject. Y'all take it easy.